The crowd at Santa Monica Pier buzzed with laughter, music and ocean breeze, a place where everyone seemed free. But for Lila, a 19-year-old girl in a wheelchair, freedom wasn't so simple. Her hands trembled slightly as she rolled along the boardwalk, camera in her lap, capturing photos of sunsets she couldn't chase. She used to run here once, before the accident, before a reckless drunk driver shattered her legs and her dreams of becoming a dancer. Now she came to the pier every Friday, finding solace in the rhythm of the waves instead of her own feet. But that day, peace wouldn't last long. "Hey, look! Wheels coming through!" one voice sneered. Lila froze. 3 boys in their early 20s stepped in front of her, blocking the path. They wore beach shorts, sunglasses, and arrogance like armor. "What's the hurry, princess?" Another one laughed, kicking the front wheel of her chair lightly. Lila's throat tightened. "Please move," she said softly, trying not to draw attention. But that only fueled them. "Move, Cripple!" the tallest boy shouted, before shoving her wheelchair sideways. The chair tilted, her camera crashed to the wooden planks, and Lila fell forward, scraping her arm. Gasps echoed around her, but no one stepped in. People looked away, pretending not to see. Her heart pounded. Her camera, her only connection to her dream, was broken. She blinked back tears as the boys laughed and walked away. But fate had other plans. From the far end of the pier, the sound of engines grew louder. Deep, rumbling engines, motorcycles, dozens of them. Heads turned as a line of bikers in black leather vests approached, their presence impossible to ignore. They weren't just random riders. The back of their vests read, "The Iron Shields." At the front was Ryder, a towering man with a scar running across his jaw, eyes sharp but kind. He saw Lila on the ground and pulled his bike to a stop. The laughter of the bullies died in their throats as Ryder dismounted. "You boys think that's funny?" Ryder's voice was low but carried the weight of thunder. The tallest bully smirked. "Just a joke, old man. Relax." Ryder took a step closer, and behind him 12 bikers did the same. Men and women of all ages, veterans, mechanics, riders bonded by loyalty and grit. "You call humiliating a young woman a joke?" Ryder growled. The bullies' faces turned pale. Lila tried to speak. "Please, it's fine, just let them go." Ryder knelt beside her, his expression softening. "No, sweetheart, it's not fine. Not anymore." He helped her back into her chair, his large hands gentle, as if afraid to break something fragile. "You didn't deserve that. Not today, not ever." By now a crowd had gathered. The bullies muttered excuses, but the bikers surrounded them like a human wall. Ryder pointed toward the broken camera. "Pick it up and apologize." The boys hesitated. Then, under the weight of 100 silent stares, one bent down, picked up the shattered camera, and handed it to Lila with trembling hands. "Sorry," he mumbled. Lila nodded, still fighting tears. "It's okay." But her voice cracked. Ryder turned back to her. "You come here often?" "Every Friday," she replied weakly. "Then next Friday," he said with a small grin. "You won't come alone." From that day forward, Lila had protectors. Not because she needed saving, but because someone finally stood with her instead of turning away. Every Friday evening, the Iron Shields rolled up to Santa Monica Pier. They'd park near the railing, engines idling softly, while Lila took photos of the sunset. Ryder even helped her fix her camera lens, learning from YouTube tutorials late at night. But what grew between them was more than friendship. Ryder learned about Lila's past, how she had trained to be a dancer since she was 5, how one car crash ended her future, and how people treated her differently ever since. He told her about his own scars, how he lost his leg below the knee in Afghanistan, and rebuilt his life with steel, strength, and a bike. "You're stronger than you think," he said one evening, handing her a new camera the group had bought for her. "We can't all walk the same road, but we can still ride together." Months passed, and Lila's photos began to gain attention online. Her series called Wheels and Waves captured the pier, the bikes, and the bond of unlikely friendships. The same place she once feared became the stage for her comeback. Then one day, she got an email. A gallery in downtown Los Angeles wanted to feature her work. She cried as she read it, remembering how helpless she had felt that day on the pier. Now she was being celebrated, not pitied. When the exhibit opened, Ryder and the Iron Shields filled the front row, cheering louder than anyone else. Lila rolled onto the small stage, microphone trembling in her hands. "There was a time I thought my life ended with that accident," she said, her voice thick with emotion. "But that day at Santa Monica Pier, when strangers stood up for me, I realized something. Strength isn't in your legs or your fists, it's in your heart, and sometimes it's in the people who ride beside you." The crowd rose in applause. Ryder smiled proudly, his eyes glinting under the lights. Later that night, Lila and the bikers returned to the pier just as the sun dipped into the ocean. She raised her camera once more, capturing the glow of the horizon, a symbol of endings and beginnings. As the engines roared behind her, Lila whispered to herself, "You didn't take my strength. You just helped me find it." And for the first time in years, she didn't feel broken. She felt unstoppable. Moral of the story, even in your darkest moments, kindness can ride in like thunder. True strength isn't about standing tall, it's about rising again, even on wheels.